Humans have known about planets for at least 4,000 years, yet it was only 400 years ago that we first saw one through a telescope. So for thousands of years, there were objects in the sky that we called planets, but we had no idea what planets really were. Which makes me wonder, how could ancient people have possibly known the difference between planets and stars? Well, when the ancient Greeks watched the night sky, they saw something unusual. As they watched the stars from night to night over the course of months, they would see this, a slow and steady march of the stars from left to right. But if you look closely, some of the stars didn't move like the rest. They moved backwards compared to everything else. They even did loops. It was clear that they were different, so they were given a name, wanderers, or planetes in Greek. So what are the planets doing? Are they breaking the rules by going all crazy in the sky? The answer is no. It's all a matter of perspective. The strange movement of the planets in the sky has a name. It's called apparent retrograde motion. And it's not actually that complicated. You can think of planets like cars on the road. If you're driving the same speed as the car next to you, it doesn't look like it's moving compared to the background. But what if you're passing another car? Compared to the background, they look to be moving backwards. Now look at the planets orbiting the sun in a never-ending race. Whether they are passing us or if we are passing them, they will appear to have retrograde motion at times throughout the year as our positions in orbit change. Once again, the planets aren't doing anything strange, it just appears that way. And you might be asking, how did ancient people not know what the heck was going on? Well, the reason that the ancient Greeks and nobody else for thousands of years understood this was because they had a fundamental misunderstanding of what was happening in space. They thought everything in the sky was going around them. If you were to stay up all night watching the stars, you'd see them moving like this. But the stars aren't actually moving. We are. The Earth is rotating on its axis as it speeds through space, giving the stars the appearance of going around it. I could see how the ancient people would think that the stars, sun, moon, and planets were going around them. But this view is more realistic. It's actually the Earth that is tumbling through space. And one more thing that goes with this that the ancient people didn't understand was why the stars were constantly moving from night to night over the course of a year. If you didn't know this, there are summer constellations and winter constellations. Totally different. Well, when people on the night side of the Earth look up, they will see certain stars above them. And 3 months later, when we've changed our orbit, the stars visible overhead have also changed. And here, 6 months after we started, we're seeing stars on the opposite side of the sky, which is why we have winter and summer constellations. We're looking at different places in our galaxy. And all of this is because we're orbiting the sun and rotating on our axis, something ancient people didn't know happened until fairly recently. So for thousands of years, we followed the planets in the sky without really knowing what they were. And now we're here in modern time, occasionally looking up to see the stars at night. But do you know which ones are planets and which ones are the stars? Here's how you can find out: the easy way or the harder ways. First, the lazy way. Use an app like Starwalk or software like Stellarium, which is actually fantastic. Second, the old school way. Use a planisphere. This is what I used when I first started teaching astronomy 20 years ago in the snow while hiking uphill. Or third, go outside at night and look for stars that aren't twinkling. Because stars twinkle, but planets don't. Stars are tiny points where light originates. Planets are actual objects with a disk that we can see. Starlight gets refracted or bent when coming in our atmosphere. But a planet is an object that doesn't show the scattered light, making it much steadier. And a fun fact, seen from outer space, neither the planets nor the stars will twinkle because there's no atmosphere to look at them through. But there are lots of objects in the night sky, and looking at each one individually to find the star that isn't twinkling is a daunting task. So we can narrow down which ones might be planets by doing this, to look on the ecliptic. The what? The ecliptic. It's an imaginary line through the sky that the sun, moon, and planets all follow, like baby geese behind their mamas. So why does everything follow the ecliptic? Well, here's a view of our solar system from above, but from the side this changes. All of the objects in our solar system line up on the plane of the solar system, like they're hanging out on a flat table in a line. So that line of objects in our solar system is exactly what we see from Earth, which to us starts in the east, gets higher in the south, and then sets in the west, just like the sun does during the day. Or if you want a really difficult way to find the planets in the sky, you just have to map out all of the objects in the sky over a period of 6 months and look for the little ones that might be undergoing retrograde motion while you're watching it. And there are some more classic tricks to help you find out which ones are planets, because the planets, like movie stars, like to stand out. Pun intended. Like if you're looking for Mars, it's a little reddish from the rusting dust on its surface. Jupiter and Saturn can be some of the brightest objects in the sky because of their enormous sizes, but that can also depend on how near or far away from us they are in their orbits. And Venus and Mercury are often referred to as the morning or evening stars, which are visible around sunrise and sunset. They just can't get away from that darn sun. And I'm not ignoring Uranus and Neptune and Pluto, it's just you can't see them without a telescope, so ancient people had no idea they were there. So ancient people knew the planets were different and special, but they had no idea what they really were. I mean, could you imagine watching that and not being able to understand it? I mean, what else do we see, but we're not yet capable of understanding? So go outside and see what you can find, and think of all the wonderful things we still have to learn about our universe. I hope you enjoyed learning about our night sky, so until next time, stay curious.